It's time for the Stock Car Show on the Performance Motorsports Network. Powered by the staff at Race Chaser Online. Your motorsports, your way, every day. And now, here's your host, Tom Baker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I should say, more properly, welcome back as we kind of kick things back off again here on Race Chaser Radio with our live broadcasts after the Thanksgiving holiday. We definitely are excited to be back and looking forward to doing a great show tonight. We hope, anyway. This is the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and our good friends at mycomputercareer.edu. My name is Tom Baker. I am joined inside the Race Chaser studios by Ali Boulay and Jacob Seelman. And we also have Randy Miller over in the tech shed, capably working behind the glass to punch all the right buttons tonight, kind of doing double duty with audio and video as Cisco Scaramuza off tonight, doing some pre-graduation things as he gets set for his ceremony coming up right quick here.
Hang on a minute. You mean he's going to graduate?
He's going to graduate or graduate, however you want to.
He's getting an education.
He got his education, and now he's being kicked out. I mean, dismissed. I mean, he's graduating from.
He's being celebrated and told goodbye.
Goodbye. That's exactly right. Okay, so as we head off into the show here, we've got quite a lot in store for you. Of course, the Snowball Derby takes center stage tonight, and we're pretty excited to talk about that. Jacob spent a week there over the weekend and watched it rain for one of the days, but they did get at least the big race in, right?
Absolutely.
And we also are going to hear a lot of voices this evening on the show.
I talked to a lot of people over the week.
Yeah, and we're going to hear from them. We're going to hear from the top four from the Snowball Derby. So that means winner Noah Gragson. We'll hear from second place Ty Majeski. We'll hear from third place Jeff Choquette. And we'll hear from fourth place Conor O'Kresick, who did really, really well over the weekend in the Snowball Derby. We'll also hear from Harrison Burton, and we're going to hear from Brandon Setzer, and not because of anything he did at the Snowball Derby on the track anyway.
I was going to say he kind of did things,
but yeah, we're going to hear from Brandon about what it's like to go from fighting with Kyle Busch Motorsports to being employed by them.
And by the way, helping to win the Tom Dawson Trophy too.
Yeah, so we're gonna hear from Brandon as well. So lots to come here on the show, and boy, do we have news! I mean, excuse me, let me catch my breath here. We have some big news from NASCAR that we need to talk about because we've been off for a couple of weeks. We've got a Kurt Busch announcement that I don't know if it's really big news, only because we all kind of knew it was coming.
Duh.
But there was an official Kurt Busch announcement.
Easy for you to say.
I think even bigger news, because it was way more of a surprise. We have a Justin Haley announcement to talk about. That's where I'm going to start, too. Okay. We're going to start with the announcement that Justin Haley has found himself a ride for the next couple of years in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Kaulig Racing.
Please hold while I offer the reaction of apparently only about half the industry, because some people that weren't us knew this was coming. But for those of us at the table, I'll offer this.
Huh?
Exactly.
What happens to Ryan Truex?
Ryan Truex goes
He
away.
Go bye-bye.
Now, to be
Do
fair.
they swap rides?
No.
Ryan's
out.
Yeah, to be fair, Ryan Truex said publicly prior to the Homestead Xfinity race that he was done, that he did not have plans to continue with Kaulig Racing in 2019. We knew that. However, I don't think a lot of people, us included, really saw Justin Haley to the 11 car coming. Not when the quality of rides like the 2 and the 21 at RCR and the 9 at Junior Motorsports were open. And the 23. Thank you. I knew there was one I was missing. That there's 2 RCR cars, a GMS car, and a Junior Motorsports car all open. And Justin Haley, who has a very sizable budget behind him, goes to Kaulig? What? I'm struggling to make sense of this. I really am, honestly. Now, to be fair, I don't think it's necessarily a bad move, but I really, truly am puzzled when you have top-of-the-line prestige rides open in the Xfinity Series, why I'll use the word settle for a Kaulig car.
I don't want to go that far. I think you're painting that with more of a black brush than it deserves to be painted with.
I'm not trying to disrespect Kaulig here. I'm just saying that, at least by all accounts, I would have expected Justin Haley to jump at a currently championship contending race car. I don't believe right now that Kaulig Racing is a championship team. Do I believe they could get there? I guess we'll see. But for Justin Haley to jump into that car and immediately contend for a championship next year, I don't see it. That's why I'm puzzled by this move.
I don't see it. I don't know if first of all, my 2 cents on this is that if Justin Haley had the chance to go somewhere else and they felt the opportunity was as good, they probably would have taken it. My thought on this, trying to make sense of this, is that I would have to think that, in fact, Justin Haley probably took this ride because they felt that it was the best available option for him, which means I would expect there's probably something more behind this. That there's something, they're upgrading equipment. There's a crew chief. Maybe he's bringing Kevin Bellicourt with him. I'm not really sure, but I have to suspect because Justin, it's a multi-year deal, so you're not going to sign a multi-year deal if you don't feel like this is a good situation for you. And you remember, it is in the Childress family, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what's going on sort of behind the scenes there. I think this is an interesting pairing because, one, that car has been in the playoffs multiple times.
It's been in the playoffs, yes. Has it really contended? I don't think so.
Has it made it out of the first round of playoffs?
By a miracle when Blake Cook
I was going to say, I think Blake Cook did.
Blake Cook took it to the round of 8 by a miracle, but it didn't contend for a spot in the final.
Truex didn't, but I got to be honest. I would like to see Ryan Truex in some other equipment because for me, I think the jury's still out on Ryan Truex and where his top end is. I know Justin Haley is a championship racer. I don't know if Ryan Truex at the Xfinity level, I don't know if he's a championship racer. I don't know where his talent level is. Well, obviously, he comes from a great lineage.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying I don't feel he lived up to what Blake Cook did in the car. I really don't. Now, with that being said, I think to a certain degree, I think you got to be careful too because each year the Xfinity Series changes. You get a year, for example, when you've got a couple of Gibbs cars that may be running for the driver's title. It's a whole different situation than when you've got one over there or no Penske or one,
yeah. So, by the way, in response to your comment that Ryan Truex didn't live up to what Blake Cook did in the 11 car, Ryan Truex scored more top 10 finishes in one season than Blake Cook scored in that car in 2 years combined, and he scored the team's best career finish. And his average finish was better than either of Blake Cook's years. Now, you tell me Ryan Truex didn't live up to what Blake Cook did. He bettered it.
Well, again, you can look at stats and talk about results all day. But, if that's the case, then Ryan should still be in the car.
Money. It's all
money
about
talks.
money. It's money talks.
Well, but
this is
then
a
how did he end up there?
Sport. He brought some money. Justin Haley brought more money. Ryan Truex brought more money than Blake Cook did. Justin Haley brought more money than both of them.
Well,
But the thing is, Justin Haley, yes, he is a championship caliber driver, but only in the truck series.
We don't
Well,
don't know
see,
what
I don't-
he
I-
can do
yeah,
in
I-
Xfinity. If I was him, I would have stayed at GMS, gotten a championship in the truck series, or tried to fill for Spencer Gallagher's ride in the 23. Stay in-house, so this way you know what your equipment is and you know what you're dealing with.
And I'm genuinely puzzled why he didn't make a play for the 23
well,
car.
first,
I really am.
we don't know when this whole deal with Colleague
This is true. We don't.
was put together. Okay, we don't know how long this has been in the works. Spencer Gallagher announced his retirement very late in the going, and it was very sudden and out of the blue.
It was.
So we don't know where that goes, but so I don't think we can say whether or not Justin should have, would have, could have, whatever. I mean, the 23 is obviously good equipment, but here again, nobody's won races in it. Not to say that drivers haven't shown top 6 to 10.
Spencer won in
Oh,
Talladega.
yeah. Well,
Thank
okay,
you.
won a plate race. But, I mean, I'm not sure that we should be underestimating this Colleague equipment. And I'm not. I think to me, I know Justin, I know his family. There has to be a reason why they chose this. And they signed a multi-year deal. So something is going on behind the scenes. They have to be very comfortable that he can go out and contend for championships. Otherwise, I don't think they would have taken the deal. We'll do our best to get Justin on in the next couple of weeks and let him talk to us himself about what's going on and why he chose it.
Are we going derbying in the next segment?
We're going derbying in the next segment, but we've got plenty of other news to cover later in the show, so stay with us. You are watching/listening to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety and my computer career. We shall be right back.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
Hi, I'm Tyler Reddick, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Welcome back to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety, and by mycomputercareer.edu. Training for a better life. You can be an IT knowledgeable person in as little as 4 months with My Computer Career. We'll tell you about them a little later. Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, Jacob Seelman, Randy Miller behind the glass over in the tech shed, punching both audio and video buttons, keeping us on the air in both ways tonight as Cisco Scaramuza has the night off. And we were talking about Justin Haley and Colleague Racing and some of the stuff off the newswire in the first segment. We will get back to that, but right now we're going to transition into coverage of the Snowball Derby. Jacob Seelman, our speed sport speedster, was not speeding as he traveled to and from Florida.
I'm sure he was.
Gee.
Ellie has no faith in you, Jacob.
No, she doesn't. Wow.
So, Ellie,
Love you, mean it.
Ellie thinks your cruise doesn't work. Jacob was down there and in the middle of the action, and you told me something earlier that I thought was interesting and a good point to start with. You said that you believe that this edition of the Derby was one of the more exciting ones you've seen in a long time. Why?
Well, a couple of reasons, actually. And first off, before I dig into all that, I want to thank Tim Bryant and all the staff at Five Flags Speedway for letting me come back after last year's 50th Snowball Derby. Not that I had any doubts that I did anything wrong, but because
I was going to say, did you get arrested? I mean,
no.
They let you come
something,
back.
something go on I didn't know about?
Jokingly, I say, from year to year, you never know. And I'm just very appreciative of the Bryant family for what they do, not just with the racetrack, but with this race in general. And they were faced with a lot of challenges that we'll talk about as we go through this wrap-up of the Derby. But the whole reason I say that this was one of the better Derbies I've seen, number one, it was much cleaner overall than many of the Derbies I've seen. A couple of years we've had a wreck fest here in the last 5 or 6, and this year was, for most of the 300 laps, markedly very clean. We never had one of the 75 green flag lap competition yellows, but we got close to it on several occasions.
Okay.
And what made this fun for me was the way the race developed. We got a late start because of all the rain that caused weepers on the front stretch. Five Flags was hit by a torrential downpour on Saturday that washed the Snowflake 100 out to this coming weekend and basically made for a long day on Sunday. So
for those who don't know, that's the Pro Late model portion of the weekend.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so we got a late start. The race, it usually starts 2 p.m. Central and finishes right as we're getting into dusk. This year started right around 3:30 Central and ended in total darkness under the lights at Five Flags. The first time in history that a Snowball Derby has started during the daytime and finished at night.
Very nice.
This was a very cool dynamic. It's the most dynamic surface in motorsports. I'll use a adage from our good friend from Auto Week and Short Track Scene, Matt Weaver, who has taught me to love Five Flags Speedway. So you had a lot of comers and goers.
Why did you have to be taught to love Five Flags?
Well, because up until last year's Derby, I had never been there, so I didn't understand the hype. Now that I've been there for 2 Derbies, I understand what makes people love it.
Yeah, you've been there, done that, got
Correct.
the T-shirt.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyway, so we had comers and goers. We had the track surface, which changed even more than usual because of the temperature shift from daytime to nighttime. And the way the tire strategy developed was just so much fun, and it's what led to the rise and fall of Harrison Burton, who we'll hear from later, and it's what ultimately led to Noah Gragson coming down and taking the victory on a 6-lap dash to the finish because everybody came down for tires when Harrison didn't after a late race caution, or more accurately couldn't because he was out of tires. And ultimately Noah was the beneficiary, able to take the lead and go on to victory in the exact same car, by the way, that Kyle Busch won the 50th Derby in 1 year ago. This was a big moment for Noah. It was his final race as a full-time driver with Kyle Busch Motorsports, his final race with crew chief Marcus Richmond, who worked with him last year. Rudy Fugle, his crew chief from this year, was down there, and of course Cody Glick, the head of the KBM late model program. They were all kind of collaborating on these two cars for Gragson and Rafael Lessard. Both of them contended all day, but it was Noah who I felt like his maturity and learning how to deal with the pressure of the Truck Series championship fight let him stay cool when it counted most, let him know when to capitalize, and when he needed to pounce, boy, did he ever pounce. And the emotion when he took that checkered flag burned the tires down on the front stretch, which got a bit of a glare from Ricky Brooks in tech, and then screamed at the television camera and proceeded to climb the fence. It was just a great thing, and it was everything that fans need to love about Noah Gragson. It was spontaneous, it was fun, it was energetic. It's what the Snowball Derby has needed over the past couple years, and Noah gave us every bit of that.
And Noah also gave Jacob an interview. Hey, Randy, why don't you hit the button and let's hear it?
I don't think when I first met this kid, almost 6 years ago now, and he was running a Legends car, that either of us could have predicted we'd be sitting here now. But Noah Gragson, you get to take home the Tom Dawson Trophy and officially call yourself the winner of the 51st Snowball Derby. I know it's had a few minutes to sit in, but I imagine, as you mentioned a couple minutes ago, this is still pretty damn surreal.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable just knowing the history here at Five Flag Speedway, the history of the Snowball Derby, the history of everybody who comes and supports this race, the history of all the racers who have won this race and competed in this race, and it feels like a dream to me to be able to sit here and look at this trophy and know that I'm taking it home tonight.
I know you put a lot of pressure on yourself when you get behind the wheel to compete, but knowing that this was your last hurrah potentially with KBM, knowing what this race means, was this the only acceptable result in your mind, knowing what all it meant?
Absolutely. I was coming here to win, and that was the only thing.
Take me back now. You're sitting top 5 with 25 or so laps to go right before the caution comes out, and I'm sure starting to see this race slip away. That caution comes out and you know you've got a set of tires. Did that breathe new life into you all of a sudden?
Yeah, I really didn't think about the win or anything. 25 to go. I knew there's still a long time. Anything could happen, and knowing that there's still tires in the pit box, I felt really confident in the opportunity to win this race, especially coming off of pit road in second on the track, first off of pit road. Harrison stayed out, so just knowing that I was on newer tires, he was on about 50 lap old tires, I pretty much wrote him off and knew that Ty Majeski was, and Jeff Choquette was going to give me a run for my money. So just had to stay execution focused and just focused on getting the job done.
You talked earlier about how the truck championship run and racing for that helped, I don't want to say take the pressure off, but maybe helped you compartmentalize it and alleviate some of the strength of that pressure. How did it train you mentally to get ready to go on this run and win this race?
It just helped being in an environment that I've had to deal with that kind of pressure. Racing for the Truck Series Championship is definitely a really big deal, and so to be able to do that and have that experience and knowing that I can overcome stuff and have the momentum from the Truck Series season that I've had, and just all the people who support me, I felt like I could do no wrong.
What would you tell 13 or 14-year-old Noah Gragson as you're just starting your racing career, the Noah that you are today? What message would you give back to yourself?
Don't change a thing.
I can tell you're sitting here still trying to soak all this in. What does this mean? Is this the biggest win of your career?
Absolutely. This is bigger than any Truck Series win I've had, running second in my Xfinity Series debut at Richmond earlier this year. This is more of an accomplishment than that, just because of all the history and all the badass drivers that come to this race.
I know you've had a lot of congratulations already rolling in. Have you heard from the boss yet?
Yeah, he texted me, I don't know, I'll see. He texted me, great job, nice way to make it happen for all of us, great race, thank you. And so that's pretty damn cool.
You move forward. Is this the right way to close the chapter? Do you feel like now we can say, hey, this new chapter's ahead, and this was the best way to cap it off?
Yeah, you can't cap it off any better than hanging up a banner at Kyle Busch Motorsports, and my final race at Kyle Busch Motorsports, my final race with Toyota for this year, moved on to the Xfinity Series with Junior Motorsports next year. I don't think you could ride it any better.
How have you changed from 2 years ago when you first joined KBM to now?
I don't think I've changed my personality at all. I just tried to focus on the things I can control and just being the best I can be.
Where are you going to put the trophy?
I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe on my living room or something. I don't know yet.
I was going to say, you need a pretty big mantle to try and put this thing on.
Yeah,
but
a big old trophy.
Noah Gragson, the official winner of the 51st Annual Snowball Derby.
Now we have to clarify official, because for those who aren't initiated into the Snowball Derby, there's winning the race and taking the checkered flag, and then you have to win it again in the Room of Doom.
Yes.
Otherwise known as the Tech Barn, where Ricky Brooks is looking at every little thing, and there is a zero tolerance policy. And I mean zero with Ricky Brooks. So the fact that Noah made it out of the Room of Doom, and basically that's like winning the race again. You should get another trophy. I should get something like a giant, giant hammer or a little set of scales or something for making it through the Room of Doom. But Noah Gragson picking up the win, and I can't believe he said that was bigger than the Truck Series victories for him.
I can. For a couple of reasons real quickly before we go to break.
Yeah.
Number one, Noah referenced a few times in his post-race conversations with the media Sunday night that he felt like he skipped a step in his development with the super late models, and that he's wanted to right that over the last couple years, and that KBM has really helped teach him what it means to drive these cars and be successful in these cars. But Noah is also a very astute student of the sport, and very astute when it comes to appreciating the history of the sport, even at his age. He was there a year ago watching and listening to his boss, Kyle Busch, talk about what it meant and what it means to win the Snowball Derby. He knows what this race means, not just to the super late model community, but to the racing community as a whole. He recognizes that to win this race means you've done something, and you're going to be remembered in much the same way in the short track community as Daytona 500 winners are remembered in the NASCAR community. This isn't just a race that sticks with you for the rest of your career. It's a race that sticks with you the rest of your life.
For sure. And Noah Gragson, now it is in his pocket. He has picked up the win, and he moves on now in 2019 to race for Junior Motorsports. Should be, I think, a big year for him in the Xfinity Series next year. We don't know which car number he's going to be racing.
Yet.
We will get that announcement soon. Back with more of the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety, and by My Computer Career, right after these words.
Do you love the sound of high revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
What an awesome game. What's up with your car? I don't know. It won't start. How are we getting home? Chill. My parents signed me up for the roadside assistance from Lewis Meineke. It was free with my oil change. They'd come and get the car started or get us home and tow the car to the shop.
Good to know. With my driving, my parents never know what to expect.
When you join the Meineke Car Care Club with a $35 preferred service, you get 4 free months of roadside assistance, including tire change, battery jump, lockout service, towing, and more. Contact Lewis Meineke, located on Route 1, or call 827-2054.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a lung disease that robs people of their ability to breathe. As many as 24 million Americans suffer from COPD, also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema, and half of them don't know they have the disease. If you or someone you love is over 35 and has smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, visit driveforcopd.org and take the screener, then take that to your doctor. I'm Jeff Stoltz, and I drive for COPD.
Hi, I'm John Holloman, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now back to the show.
Well, that's some news we can tell you about as we come back live to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. John Holloman bringing us back from break, and it was announced over this past week that John Holloman is now engaged to be married.
Oh.
Yes. He asked his girlfriend to marry him. She accepted. She is now his fiancée. Congratulations to John Holloman IV. They've been going a while together, and it's going to be, I think, a great relationship. So we wish John and his new bride to be nothing but the best, and looking forward to hopefully getting John in here again over the winter at some point while we can. Before we get back to the Derby coverage, hey, I got a question for you. Is your job sucking the life out of you? I mean, really, do you hate your job? Do you hate what you do? Well, here's some good news for you. If you hate what you can do something else. Here's what you can do. How about information technology? I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math or science person. No problem. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can do that. Go there right now. While you're listening to our show, open up another screen, another browser or whatever, and go to mycomputercareer.edu. Take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. That's only 16 weeks. mycomputercareer.edu is the place for that. 7 campuses, or you can study online. So, again, 2 to 3 days a week is all it takes. mycomputercareer.edu. Welcome them to the family here at Race Chaser Radio, and we look forward to hopefully a long relationship with them. And we move back into our Derby coverage at this point, and we talked about Noah Gragson in the last segment. He won the thing.
Uh-huh.
But there were some other really good performances in the Derby that we'll get to in this segment. Ty Majeski finishing second, Jeff Choquette finishing third, and Connor O'Kresick.
Oh, my gosh.
Coming across in fourth. That one really surprised me. Connor is, for those who don't know, a young driver out of Alabama who is, we know him well from running the summer shootout here at Charlotte this year on the quarter mile with the Legends cars.
Hang on a minute. No. Connor didn't run the shootout.
Yes, he did. O'Kresick? Sure he did. Yes, Connor ran the shootout, and now Connor has run late models, and it has moved up to late models, is doing very, very well.
Yeah, and now has back-to-back top 5 efforts in super late models on the Gulf Coast. He finished second to Stephen Nasse in the Mobile 300 a couple weeks ago, and now has a top 5 finish in the Snowball Derby for the second year in a row. But I don't want to start with Connor just because I feel like his story is best saved for last. I think
that's fine.
Ty Majeski certainly.
Just feel like he's the biggest story.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I expect Ty to be up there, and I expect Choquette to be up there because between the two of them, they've been doing it for about 50 years.
You are not wrong about that. And Ty Majeski certainly with his best shot to win the Snowball Derby. He came on late, didn't even take the lead until lap 209, and at the end of the day, if not for Harrison Burton's tire strategy, I think Majeski would have probably led the rest of the way out. But as it is, now you've got me all spun out. As it is, Majeski coming home second, was running Noah Gragson down. He said if he had 2 more laps, he'd have won that race. And Toby Noodleman, after the race,
that's what they all say,
his crew chief, did agree. And I agree, honestly.
I had 2 more laps.
Ty was faster than Noah over that last run. He just ran out of time. But, and this is where I'm going to get Randy ready to hit a button, Ty found it hard to be disappointed. He was smiling. He kind of socked Toby and said, I asked for a chance to win the Derby. You gave me a chance, so how can I be disappointed? And I loved that attitude. I also loved this interview. Randy, hit the button.
I think I like Ty Majeski's attitude right now. He just socked crew chief Toby Noodleman and said, you can't ask for any more than what we just got. I know it's bittersweet because it's the Derby, but shoot, you were coming those last 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I was giving all I had there. Man, if we had 1, maybe 2 more laps, the outcome might have been a little bit different. The race would have been pretty good, but congrats to Noah and everyone at KBM. They do a great job, obviously, with their late model program. And feel like we hadn't beat tonight. I feel like we had the field covered. Just unfortunate we couldn't put this iRacing.com forward in victory lane.
Last year, you started strong, and then pit strategy got you off, and you couldn't be there at the end. This year, you didn't even take the lead till 92 to go. Was that part of the plan?
No, we just didn't have the track position early. Obviously, we started 18th, 19th. Why we had a pit crew that's never done a wide 5 pit stop before. So their first stop was a little bit shaky, but the next 2, man, were exactly what we needed. They really came through there. We just lost that a little bit of track position with the 5-on-5 wheels, but we knew that coming in, and just need a couple more laps there.
Do you leave with a smile?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, to build a brand new race car, come down here with essentially, no laps on it, just a testament to everyone back at the shop and how good of a good job they do building these things.
There again, I mean, Ty is really, really in a position, I think, that's sort of unenviable right now because here he is coming off that big run and finishing second, and yet, the news breaks over the weekend that Roush Fenway's Xfinity program is gone. So Ty worked so hard for a couple of years to try and make something out of his opportunities there, and really, again, the stats won't show it, but he performed very well in that car when he was on the track, but of course, the thing either broke or it wrecked. or he got wrecked.
I was going to say, he never wrecked it. He got wrecked.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And, I mean, over 2 years, this is the way it was. But that was an interesting interview. You know, Ty is a guy who is still young enough that if somebody would just get behind him, he's got an opportunity to be a superstar. I really, truly believe that he's got that kind of talent. The problem is he doesn't have any money behind him. And that's unfortunate. So for now, he's back in late models.
Right. And on the flip side of that coin, a driver who has kind of started to make his living on the Gulf Coast, Jeff Choquette, for the second straight year finished on the podium in the Snowball Derby. Last year he thought he was going to have a chance to win it, and well, this year again he thought he was going to have a chance to win it. It didn't pan out, but much like Majeski, Choquette was coming, and I think both of them were faster than Noah Gragson in the final laps. Afterwards, though, Jeff, very matter of fact when he said that he really didn't think there was any more he could do.
Jeff Choquette keeps coming so close. Podiums the last 2 years, and I know you're probably already wondering what if. Was there any more you could have done on that last restart to get the last two there?
No, I felt like we did a really good job all week in keeping up with the racetrack, and finishing under the lights here kind of caught me by surprise. It just never happened, so I was on the same schedule, just didn't keep up track of time with this morning and all that kind of stuff. Didn't realize the late start that we got. But, if you look at the guys that were not so good in the early part of the run, and the early part of the race, they were really good there in the end. And you look at the guys that were good in the early, not so good in the end. So, Harrison was hauling the mail there in the beginning. I had nothing for him there early on, and, he ended up fading. I don't know what happened to him, but we just got super tight. But can't thank Deep South Crane and Jet and Cook Electric and everybody that puts in the effort to get us here. Can't thank them guys enough.
And see, I loved this because Jeff, we were talking off the top of our Derby conversation about comers and goers and how the change in track from start to finish, the daytime to nighttime transition, was going to help some guys and hurt others, and yet Jeff Choquette basically just spelled it out. The guys who were good in the daytime weren't good at night, and the guys who weren't good in the daytime got good at night. Harrison Burton was really the only driver that I felt like was good in both.
Well, and see, that's key. Unfortunately, when the whole late race pit stop cycle thing happened, and he chose not to take tires, that was a big deal.
Well,
chose
not. He was on a different strategy. He had taken his last set with 76 to go.
Right.
Everybody else saved theirs, banking on a late caution.
Right. So because of that, he had no tires for the late race run, and I think that strategy is what bit him in the end.
Right. Now let's circle back to the driver we were talking about earlier.
Conor Okresic. Now, I will okay, so it's Monday, and it's my first Monday back, and I'm old. I was confusing Conor Okresic earlier with Connor Mozak in the Legends cars at the shootout. Okresic, late model guy, and Okresic, again, two really spectacular runs here. It is difficult to finish in the top 5 2 years in a row.
Absolutely.
At the the Snowball Derby, because now the entries were way down this year, and we can talk about that in a minute. But nonetheless, these are the best of the best.
Yeah.
So 2 top 5s is hard. And he pulled it off.
Yes, he did. Now, people are talking about Okresic in the same breath now as guys like Charlie Bradbury and Augie Grill. There are guys and fans from the state of Alabama who believe that Conor Okresic could be the next great driver out of the state of Alabama, is where I'm going with that. And honestly, after
that's a long list and a big... You're talking the Allisons and
it is, but we're talking about short track guys. Conor.
Oh, okay.
Conor. There are a lot of people that feel Conor could be the next great short track star from the state of Alabama. And after what I've seen from this teenager the last 2 years, I really tend to agree with him. This particular interview, by the way, happened long after tech was completed and everybody was gone. The car was still sitting on pit road. Everybody was still celebrating, well, except for Conor, who was laying on his golf cart, and then this happened.
Conor Okresic told me at the start of the day that a top 5 was going to feel like a top 5 and he wanted to win. I imagine that hasn't changed, but you set in the top 5 almost this entire day, and I feel like proved a lot to a lot of people. What do you take away from this Snowball Derby?
Oh, for sure. This is a big learning experience for us, for sure. I mean, we ran good all day. I mean, I wish we could have pulled out a win. I mean, this does feel like a top 5, not a win. It's kind of a disappointing day because I think we had at least a top 3 car at the end of the day. But, I mean, you can't really complain too much with the top 5, I guess, in the Snowball Derby.
Especially against the competition that you were racing on the final restart. Walk me through what's going through your mind once you've got the fresh tires. You know Harrison is going to be dropping anchor. I mean, how are you kind of compartmentalizing all this? And then you made a hell of a move to get through there and even have a shot to go after the top 3.
I was just hoping Harrison didn't spin his tires too bad on the restart, and thankfully he didn't, so he didn't stack us up too bad. And I was able to move off. I touched him a little bit getting off into one, and that's completely justified. Anyone would have done the same thing in that situation. And we made a move, got down low before I lost any other spots, and tucked in, tried to chase down Chiquette, but wasn't able to do that with the car we had. It was just a little bit too tight at the end. Needed a little bit longer of a run, and I think we could have had a shot at least 3rd.
Do you feel like that you maybe earned a little extra respect today, knowing some of the guys you were racing toe-to-toe with all afternoon?
I mean, I think so. I can't be positive. I don't know how they all think I raced, but I think I probably earned some respect from all of them, I guess.
For a season that you characterized as up and down for most of it, pretty good up to end it on?
This is a pretty good up to end it on. Not the up we were hoping for, not the Derby win, but we can't really complain too much. I mean, all these guys worked their butts off to get us here. I mean, everyone on the car, Metro Glass, Cineker Performance, Hamner Race Engine, Sleep Center, Paragon Cleaners, and just all the rest of the guys in the crew, and just all the rest of the guys in the car too.
This motivating to come back next year and try to get on that podium?
Oh, for sure. We're gonna try to come back next year and try to win it.
Well, there you go. And,
absolutely.
You know, that's a guy who definitely could do that. And, you know, he's a driver that I think you kind of look at and say, okay, you know, this may not be the guy who leapfrogs from this to, you know, to the trucks, to the Xfinity, to the Cup Series necessarily. This is a guy who, as you said, may be the next Augie Grill or
Absolutely.
Bubba Pollard, who is the late model young gun who stays in the late models and just, you know, gets better and better each year and has a long career there. Not to say that he doesn't have the talent to go forward, but, you know, he's gotten a lot of experience in both the pros and the supers. He did race Legends, by the way, and still does at times over in Alabama. And so he's a guy who's driven a lot of different stuff and started in go-karts and all of that. So, you know, this is a talented young driver who definitely, I think, is one of the future stars or longtime future stars of the super late model division if he stays there.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah. That's a tough deal to do, going there and, you know, and finishing in the top 5 twice. And so it definitely is going to be – we've got still plenty more to talk about here, too. We've got still interviews with Harrison Burton and Brandon Setzer as well coming up, and we've got plenty of news off the newswire still to get to. With that, we will take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. Be right back.
Everywhere you go, you hear it, and you see it. It's coming at you through your phone, your tablet, and your computer. It's broadcast from your favorite radio station, TV networks, and cable companies. It's in the stadiums, the arenas, the ballparks. It screams for your attention at the mall. It's interactive on Main Street. It's even coming at you from the gas pump at the nearby convenience store. What is it? It's digital content. It's digital content. It's digital content. Somebody has to create it. Somebody has to manage it. So whether your dream is to write it, design it, create it, call it, produce it, voice it, host it, light it, shoot it, switch it, record it, color correct it, edit it, code it, repurpose it, tweet it, blog it, post it, compress it, upload it, replay it, or make sure it gets to where it's got to go when it's got to get there in the format it's got to be in. You need to attend
Carolina School of Broadcasting.
The skills you will learn, the experience you will get, and the connections you will make at Carolina School of Broadcasting will open the doors to the career you want in digital content creation and digital content management. Call or come by today. Click csbradiotv.edu.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Tyler Dipple, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network. Now back to the show.
Yeah, dippling is in fashion here in the Race Chaser studio. Welcome back to the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety. You can find them on the web at hmsmotorsport.com. We are scheduled to be on location at HMS Motorsport here in Mooresville next week. So feel free to come by and join us next Monday night between 7 and 9 Eastern at HMS Motorsport right here in Mooresville. It's located just about 5 minutes from our studios here, and we are excited. We're scheduled the next 2 weeks there. So stay tuned for to see how all of that works out. But we are scheduled to be on location the next 2 weeks at HMS Motorsport here in Mooresville. Tom Baker, Ali Belay, Jacob Seelman. Behind the glass over in the tech shed is Randy Miller. And we're just going to go straight to it. Jacob, you had a chance to chat with the venerable Harrison Burton, who is never at a loss for words.
No, he was never at a loss for words, and he had a lot to say after the Snowball Derby. And
He
this
sure
really
did.
circles around the fact that the tire strategy just did not work for them. But he said afterwards, for he and Chris Wimmer, that was their play, that because of their slower pit stops, they did not have the sheer speed to win the Snowball Derby. He said that straight up, so they had to make the play. If it wasn't for the last caution, it would have worked out. He was a little dejected sitting on the pit wall talking to me about it, but in typical Harrison fashion, still found a way to crack a smile.
We're going to let Jacob fix his dentures, and while he's realigning his teeth, we'll go ahead and listen to what Harrison had to say.
I didn't think this was the conversation that I was going to be having with Harrison Burton, but the last caution bit you. What's going through your mind when it comes out and you know, we got nothing left down there?
Well, I was just thinking of different ways I could try and win the thing still. I didn't give up. None of us give up ever. And that's what's cool about this race team is even though we were down and out, we still gave it a shot. And that's all you can do in that situation. I'm proud of the call. I think even if, if that situation would come again, I'd do it again. I think that was the right call. Just needed to stay green. That was our only chance to win, and we took it and didn't roll out for us. So, our racing.
When you came through there and 27 to go, all of a sudden here you are blowing by Majeski from 3.5 seconds back. I mean, Is that at any point, do you let yourself think, hey, we might actually win this thing?
No, I was just trying to stay focused. Thank you, man. I was just trying to stay focused, man. These races are so hard to win, even if you got better tires. So just hitting my marks, trying to save as much tire as I could, and that way if we did get a yellow, I wouldn't be completely out of luck, but apparently I didn't save enough. So just no grip, man, on old tires.
Yeah.
Especially here, so it's tough, but part of it.
What happened during the middle stages? Because I know that there were some struggles on pit road, but it just like maybe you lacked a little bit of something too in traffic that where this car was a bullet out front.
Yeah, this place is hard in traffic, man. It's really hard to pass people here because they exit so low. So it's hard even if you get a run. I'd get runs on people and not be able to really do much with them because the places I would get runs on them wasn't good. So I had to adjust to that and get a little better. And I felt like our car didn't get any worse. I think our track position got worse, and that didn't hurt or didn't help. And then I think the other cars got a little better as well. So. I think we had a car capable of winning if we were in the right situation, and just didn't shake out.
So, KBM cars have now won the last 2 derbies. Is this something where first chance you get in the shop, you're going to look at Kyle and say, I'm coming back to try to win one next year, right?
I'll try, man. I want to do it with my guys, though. I love my team at Wimmer Motorsports here, and I love all the boys at Kyle Busch Motorsports too. So I'll be happy either way. I don't know, man. There's just something about this 12 team that I love. It feels like home to me. So I enjoy it. And then KBM feels like a second home. So I got good 2 situations there, and either way it goes, I'll be happy, and I know I can win races in either one. So I want to be back. I want to race Supers. I don't know if I'll have time to. I'll try, but I want to, and we'll see what happens.
Will we see you back here next year for this race?
I don't even know yet, to be honest with you. I want to be here. I have a feeling in my stomach like I want to throw up and cry and whatever at the same time. So I want to come back and get a little vengeance. Out of the pole, though, that's really cool. Get the pole here and take away some positives that we had a good car. And sometimes just a race doesn't fall your way, and then the cards aren't in your hands. So, just proud of how things went. Just not how the things we could control, we did well. That's a good way to sum it up.
I'm not too sure about that strategy, honestly. You have to know that later in the race, this is the Snowball Derby, you're going to get caution flags as we get down to the end. I really don't think that strategy can work at the Snowball Derby, Jacob.
No, it can't, but you got to try.
Oh, it was a good try. I can't blame him for trying. I'm not too sure about that one. We'll leave that to everybody to ponder while we move right on, because
yes.
We're going to hear from Brandon Setzer next. Brandon's a driver, for those of you who don't know. He's from North Carolina. He's big in the late models here. And, we know Brandon very well, the son of former NASCAR great Dennis Setzer. Brandon had an incident back in May at a Cars Tour race where he and Kyle Busch Motorsports driver Rafi Lessard, let's just say that they had a little disagreement, and a bigger disagreement ensued, and some people got suspended and such. And next thing we know, where do we see Brandon Setzer? He's working at Kyle Busch Motorsports. I mean, this is just how the world turns, right?
Yes, this is how irony works.
Yeah, naturally.
And oh, by the way, KBM called Brandon.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. So hey, we hate that you fought us. You want a job?
Yeah, something like that.
We got Brandon on tape. He's going to tell us that story.
All right, Brandon Setzer. So we're going to flash back for a second. How do you go from the well-publicized incident, we'll call it, back earlier this year against the 51 car to now be standing here at the Snowball Derby in KBM colors?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little surprising when I got the call, and they were looking for a guy to come work, and I didn't know if it was a joke or if it was serious, and then went and talked to him, and ended up being a good fit. So I've been at KBM for probably 3 months. Been a lot of fun, so hopefully we can get a Tom Dawson trophy here and win the Snowball.
What's been the difference for you? Obviously driving's in your blood, but to kind of take a step back and do it from this side of things.
No, it's a lot of fun. I've always worked on my own stuff, and I seen it as an opportunity. I can learn a lot and make myself better. I can produce a better car for myself, and hopefully I can help KBM produce a better car too. So it's been a lot of fun, and you can't race forever, can't spend money. It's not an endless amount of money to go racing. So eventually you got to start making money. So it's been good.
Are we going to see you pick and choose back in a car at all next year?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to run as much as I can. Hopefully 6 to 8 races. And, hopefully it's just like this year. We show up to the racetrack and we got a chance to win. We've had a really good year. We just hadn't finished it off, but hopefully we show up at that same speed next year.
Kind of got to wonder, don't you, if him and whoever Kyle's driver du jour of the day is are in the same space at the same time at a track like Hickory with 2 to go. Got to kind of wonder how that's all going to work out, don't you? Which allegiance does Brandon owe at that point? It's kind of either the win or your job sort of thing.
Exactly. It's interesting, though, because ultimately, as I'm sure everybody who's listening figured this out, that interview was taped on pit road just prior to the start of the Snowball Derby, and by the end of the Snowball Derby, Brandon was one of the winning crew members because Noah Gragson, of course, in a KBM car,
for KBM, yep.
ended up going to victory lane. So all's well that ends well, and Brandon gets to go home, and everybody celebrates a trophy. Noah, as he mentioned, gets to put a banner in the shop and kept this story off the right way on all counts. That's the thing that really stuck out to me about this whole Derby was that this really felt like a true, I don't want to say fairy tale ending for Noah, but it felt like this ended the way it was supposed to. No disrespect to Harrison Burton, but everything just kind of wrote itself together like you had a feeling in the final 50 laps when that 18 car was still hanging around that maybe there was something left for the Hollywood script to write itself. And ultimately with that 6-lap sprint, that's exactly what happened. And anybody who happens to follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Jacob Seelman77, you got to see some of the raw emotion from Noah in a couple of the images that I was blessed to be able to capture there of the post-race celebration. And it was just cool, man. It was just really, really cool. Climb the fence, hang off the fence.
And unlike Tony Stewart, he is not too dang fat to climb fences.
Hey, you know what? I had to give Noah crap for this. He didn't puke this time like he did at Martinsville last year.
Well, he just won a Granddaddy watch. I mean, that's enough to make anybody throw up, right?
Tom Dawson Trophy's more important than the Granddaddy watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a big win for Noah. And he kissed the trophy queen.
He tried to kiss her.
Well,
she diverted and turned her head. So
hang on a minute, you missed it. There was a second attempt where she accepted. He did actually get the kiss.
See?
So he had the girl and the trophy.
And then in tech, he got her number too.
I thought you were gonna say he kissed the tech guy.
No, I think Ricky Brooks might have taken the win if Noah had done that. But he did. I can confirm. I was standing there when the exchange happened. He did get the trophy girl's number.
That's funny. Well, good for
hilarious.
him. Little old-fashioned marketing there on Noah's part.
Something like that.
Yeah. So Noah getting the win. Again, attendance way down. Entries way down by like a third at the Snowball Derby.
We had, I think, 62 cars last year, and we had 47 this year, which is very – I don't know. I mean, I said this to a few people that I don't believe you can read into the state of the sport just based on one event. If this becomes a trend next year, maybe. But I just don't know that there are too many factors, I feel like, to make a rash judgment based on one Snowball Derby.
Well, here's what I think we can say. I know that there are a lot of issues in late model racing in general. There's a lot of issues with motors and which motors do we run and which ones are we going to outlaw, and there's issues with bodies. You got 5-star, I think, with that new body out, and half the people don't want to approve it, and it's just there are a lot of issues surrounding there are a lot of flux in the late model division, especially in the southeast region and the what I'll call the mid-south or delta region of the country. That I think need to be addressed and quickly, because car counts in the late model division in general are down all over this area. And the same with the super late models for the most part, too. So going to be interesting. We're going to delve further into that in one of our upcoming shows, either before the end of this year or as we come back off of the holidays next year. We're going to delve more into the whole late model issue.
I need to apologize for chuckling, by the way. It wasn't necessarily at the discussion that you were having with us. It's well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'll fill you in on why I was chuckling after the break, because this is a treat.
All right, well, we're going to learn that. When we come back, we got another whole hour. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to talk about here and one more piece of audio before we're done with tonight's show. Stick around. You are listening to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. Be right back.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Is your job sucking the life out of you? Wake up. You can do something else. Information technology. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math and science person. No problem and no excuses, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hi, I'm Reed Sorensen. Racing has been a part of me and my family for as long as I can remember. I had to make tough choices early on to get to the top. It took hard work and dedication, but it's those tough choices that helped me prepare for challenges I would face as a cup driver. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, I'm Timmy Salmito, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career, trading for a better life. And we are about to do another hour of radio here and live stream video if you're watching us on our Facebook Live page, or if you're listening to us on any of our sources for podcasting. Of course, we're live on the Performance Motorsports Network and on Spreaker. We are also available via download on demand once the show's over on SoundCloud and a bunch of other podcast sources. Just search Race Chaser Radio. But of course, you can also watch us via our video live stream on our Race Chaser Media Facebook page. Go to Race Chaser Media for that on Facebook and just give us a click, and you can join us and chat in the chat. We've got Alex Bowman coming up shortly. We're going to hear from him. But back to the Newswire.
Wait,
so
do I not get to talk about why I was chuckling?
Oh, go ahead. Talk about why you were chuckling. Sorry about that.
So I just came across this right before our last break, and it doesn't have anything to do with the usual wheelhouse of this show, but it's too stinking funny to not bring up.
For those of you not wondering where we're going here, this is What Makes Jacob Laugh.
It's hilarious.
I saw Jacob Seelman.
It
from
is.
Speed Sport.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Robert Wickens and James Hinchcliffe in a hospital hallway. What could possibly go wrong, right?
I can think of a million ways this could go bad.
Absolutely.
Something that involves wheelchairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hinch decided to hijack both a wheelchair and a rolly stool. And he and Robbie proceeded to act out Days of Thunder.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It starts, Hinch decides to collide with Wicken's wheelchair. They get into a disagreement, and the IndyCar race stewards, who, by the way, are all on Twitter, Max Pappas says, drive through Hinchtown for avoidable contact over Robert Wickens. We need him in now. Ari Lyondike, boys will be boys. Max, no penalties. Soon, the two break out in a full-speed race. There's more contact, more wheel-to-wheel racing, and things get pretty intense. In Lee Diffie voice, the IndyCar Series Twitter goes, look at Robert Wickens holding off Hinchtown as they come down the front straight. I can't do a Lee Diffie voice, I'm sorry. I respect to the man for doing it in the way that only he can. And then later, update, Hinchtown got busted because Robbie posted a sign on his Instagram story. From the hospital staff, rolling stools can be unpredictable. Therefore, they are for staff use only. Thank you for keeping you and your children safe by not sitting on them or playing on them.
Oh, boy.
And then they finish with a fist bump.
Wow. Professionals, do not try this at home. This was strictly professional use only.
I loved Wickens. I guess I'll never be Tom Cruise as long as Hinchtown's around.
Well, here again, there's, it's just great
I love
to
these
see.
two. I
It's
really
great
do.
to see that Wickens is in such good spirits.
Yes.
And, him and Hinch are great friends. I mean, they're like brothers. And it's just, like I said, it's great to see that Wickens has his sense of humor and just, his situation is just so hard for all of us to watch because we really want him to get better and to be able to walk again and to be able to get back in the race car again. But he's really fighting hard, and that's great to see for sure. Wanted to get back to the Newswire because we had sort of a tease over the weekend of a news story that really isn't a news story because we all knew it was coming, unless by some miracle he would have won the championship. And even if that had happened, I'm not sure it would have changed the outcome.
No.
But regardless, Kurt Busch formally announced that he was leaving SHR, and I think at any moment of any day in the next few days, because remember, folks, this is Performance Racing Industry Trade Show Week. So basically from tomorrow forward, all of the motorsports industry gathers in Indianapolis for the trade show.
Yep.
I'll be out there for the first couple days of it, and everybody gathers, and there's all kinds of big news that comes out of there. It's a great place to break news, get a big audience and do a big, what to do and, all kinds of trade show booths and all that. Kurt Busch out of the 41. I think it is a foregone conclusion that at any moment now we're going to see, Allie, Kurt Busch goes to the 1 for Chip Ganassi. Yes? No? What do you think?
I know nothing.
Allie knows nothing. Jacob, what do you know?
Well, I don't know anything, but what I think is that if they don't announce it soon, they're dumb. I mean,
yeah, might as well.
I'm just gonna. Sorry, Allie. I'm just gonna. I know you don't have any power over that.
We
part of it.
understand
I know nothing.
there's business-related things that have to go on in there.
Yeah.
But look, for those of you listening to or watching this show right now, just look here. Look at Coach Tom here. Okay, here's the deal. Kurt Busch is going to the 1. Just take it from me. This is not news. It's just a matter of when. And
It's
Monster's going with him. Kurt Busch and Monster to the 1. And here's the other big news that we haven't had yet, but we're going to have eventually, even though we don't have it now. Daniel Suarez to the 41. Yeah.
Ding.
To replace Kurt Busch, who's going to the 1.
Yeah, shocking,
to replace
right?
Jamie McMurray, who's going to the bench. That's basically
Who is going to become the Dario Franchitti of NASCAR?
Yeah, and I guess that more or less means driver coach, driver consultant, whatever is kind of where that goes, I guess, right?
Something like that. Also, this just in. Noah Gregson's post-Snowball Derby kiss made it to the English, that would be British, tabloids, with the Daily Star calling Gregson by the name Tony. I guess Noah has an alter ego now.
Racing driver brutally rejected on live TV after trying to get model.
The Daily Star, from Britain.
Across the pond.
Called him Tony Gregson?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Okay, well, Dear Daily Star.
Get it right.
Yeah. I mean, you ever hear of this thing called Google? It's easy to find out his name. Just type in Gregson Racing, and you're going to get Noah. Wow, that's unbelievable. Okay, so Tony Gregson making it all the way to the British tabloids.
Something like that.
Interesting. I'm sure Noah will get a giant kick out of that one. That's
if he hasn't already.
Yeah, that may be a first. Okay, so Kurt Busch going to the one. We know that's where he's going. It's just it's dependent on. So Jacob, here's my question to you. And if our producer Randy would like to jump in, we'll give him a chance.
You're letting Randy out of his box?
Well, no, I'm not letting him out of his box. I'm just letting him turn on his microphone if he chooses to. But we'll go to you first.
Okay.
I mean, Kurt Busch to the one. Is this good pairing, bad pairing? What do you look for in 19? If this happens.
I hate to be the pessimist here.
Pessimist?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's going to be good.
No?
I think Kurt's going to go out with a whimper. Stuart Haas Racing was top of the line in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series this year, and you're going to a team that couldn't even win a race with Kyle Larson. I don't believe in it. I'm sorry, Kurt. I don't mean to be that guy, but not good. Not good move, dude.
Oh, boy. Randy.
No faith.
Agree or disagree?
I'm gonna see Jacob's point, but I'm gonna raise him a little bit here because I feel like he might be onto something. But you have to think that we're going from Jamie McMurray to Kurt Busch, so automatically it's a little bit of an upgrade. But
yeah, true.
The fact that Kyle Larson hasn't won a race, but he's been close, I feel like him having Kurt over there with him and them two working together would not only make Kurt better, but it would make Kyle Larson better, but make Kurt Busch better as well. So I feel like as close as Kurt was last year, or as close as Kyle was last year, having Kurt over there with him, the two of them together would probably be able to do something more than what Kyle and Jamie did this year.
Might I remind you, Mr. Seelman?
Oh.
Kurt Busch, when he went to the James Finch 51, made that car faster than it was before he was in it. When he went to the 78 for Furniture Row, he further capitalized on what Regan Smith had started and actually ran top 5 on occasion and set the table for Martin Truex coming in. And might I also add that I don't believe for 1 second that Kyle Larson couldn't win in Chip Ganassi's cars. Kyle Larson can't stop hitting the wall and spinning the car out in Chip Ganassi's cars.
Well,
I believe Kurt Busch goes over there, and I believe he actually outperforms Kyle Larson. He will win more races in 2019 in the one than Kyle Larson wins in the 42. How's that one?
Well, that's assuming that Chevrolet can actually get their heads out of the sand and win a race besides Chase Elliott.
Kyle had plenty of chances.
I'm not a believer in the Chevrolet still. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's fine. I mean, you can make that argument if you want to.
Yeah,
but Chase Elliott will disagree with you, by the way.
Can Kurt Busch outperform a race car? Yes. And by that, do I mean can he make it better than it was before he got there? Yes. Do I believe that Chevrolet is in a place where Kurt Busch can go there and win races next year? No.
See, I couldn't agree. I couldn't disagree more strongly. I believe that Kurt Busch, exactly as Randy said, I think his insight's spot on. Kurt Busch will make Kyle Larson better. One, he will do what Jamie McMurray wasn't able to because Jamie's past his prime. No offense to Jamie. Jamie McMurray was not Jamie McMurray the last couple of years, and Jamie also tried to fit his race car into too many holes built for go-karts on certain tracks, especially the plate tracks. I think Kurt Busch comes in and challenges Kyle Larson, and if Kyle ever figures out that if I dial it back just a little and keep the thing off the wall, I'll win more races, that's going to be a dangerous team over at Chip Ganassi Racing. I believe Kurt wins more than one in the one next year, goes to the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to say Final Four yet, but I think Kurt Busch brings Kyle Larson to a new level. I think those two are also going to get along very well because they're both the same kind of really aggressive drivers.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No. Kurt's the outlaw. Kyle's known for being riding the wall and just riding the wall. Like, yeah, he needs to dial it down a bit, but that's what he's known for.
But they're both very aggressive is what I'm saying. I don't think Jamie's as aggressive as...
I think that if Kurt does go to the one, they're not going to get along. It just depends on if the driver crew chief chemistry is there. Is he going to keep
Matt
is
McCall
Matt McCall going to stay?
If they keep Matt.
If they keep Matt, I think it's going to be great if they keep Matt, because I've seen Matt. He won at Southern National.
Yeah.
He knows. He'll get along great with Kurt.
I think Matt and Kurt would be great together. I do.
Chad Johnson, he's still with Kyle Larson.
Yeah. Yep, Chad Johnson.
Keep them together. They've got good chemistry, but if you mix it up,
well, we'll
then
see.
It could be bad.
I think it's got an opportunity to be big, and I think that announcement will come very soon. And you'll see Suarez to the 41. That announcement will come sometime shortly, probably after the Kurt Busch to the one announcement. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we continue with the Newswire. More discussion. We got Alex Bowman coming up too. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. Be right back, kids.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
How to deal with someone who says that's so gay. Outsmart them.
This party is like so gay. Totally.
Excuse me, but did you ladies know the word gay used to mean happy or excited? Then it became a word used to describe gay people. Then somehow it came to mean dumb or stupid, which is how you just used it, which is not very nice.
Ew, that guy is on the football team and super smart, and he totally hates us now. Totally.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. Learn more at thinkbeforeyouspeak.com.
Hi, I'm Dylan Bassett, and you're listening to Race Talk on Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Mr. CrossFit, Dylan Bassett. And welcome back to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. We thank both of them for being such a big part of the Race Chaser Radio family and helping us make these shows happen. Okay, back to the Newswire. Lots of flux around the NASCAR package and what's going to go on for 2019. And again, you know, we're not going to know what we're going to get until we start racing in Atlanta. But Jacob, you and I both had the chance. You were at Miami and kind of saw it live, and I was listening to it from over here as I was on my way to Batesville to cover to announce the kart race and the state of the sport. What did you take away from what Steve Phelps had to say in the State of the Sport address. What did you take away from that? Because for me, I felt really, really positive that NASCAR is paying attention to what the fans are saying, what the teams are saying, but of course we aren't going to see much fruit from that for at least another year.
Right.
But I felt really positive, and it wasn't just because I felt like he was sort of toting all of that as, talking points. I really think they get it.
No, I believe they do get it, and the overarching message I feel like that Steve Phelps was trying to get to the race fans is that, hey, we're listening. We have a plan. You guys just have to give us a little bit of time to get it right here. It's not, it's not an overnight fix. Is really
it definitely isn't.
The overarching message here. And the other thing too is that Steve is trying to get the fans to give them a chance to help get it right, to help make it better. I think part of the problem with the fan base is they want to crucify every little thing and just basically spell doom and gloom, and that shouldn't be what this is about. For the fans, if you want to help grow the sport, shut up and let the people who are in positions of power to actually grow the sport do what they're supposed to do. Do what they're there to do for a bit, and stop trying to tell them how to do their jobs.
Here's my take on that. I don't want to say shut up. I get tired of track promoters and whoever else telling the fans, stop bad-mouthing stuff on social media because you're killing the sport. To me, that statement is patently and completely bull, okay? But there's a way to do it, okay? If you can be constructively critical and you have a point, make the point. But if you're just going to, NASCAR sucks, NASCAR's gone downhill, NASCAR, and for the love of the good Lord above, please stop talking about the television ratings. Look, I can do a whole segment on reasons why the ratings numbers for all TV are down and will never be better than they are right now, period. But let me boil it down to one statement. More and more people are getting rid of cable, and the ratings only track cable television, okay? I watched every race this year in all 3 series, okay? I didn't watch any of them on cable, well, hardly any of them on cable. A lot of them I watched on the app or on my stream box, and you don't get counted in the ratings. So please move past that. Here's what I got out of this. Look, they're not going to do everything everybody wants. They can't, because everybody wants something different. Are the playoffs going away? No, and I'm glad they're not. Are the stages going away? Probably not, and I'm also happy about that too. But here's what I think you're going to see. Steve Phelps basically is I don't want to say he's committing, but I think the direction that they are really exploring, they are open to more short. Maybe we went a little too far in certain directions, and now we need to come back a little bit.
Yes.
Which is great. I think that's something that's an attitude that we have not seen. And as Brett Guzik says in our chat, I feel like NASCAR is putting good people in place and taking much better steps in the future. I agree. I think, again, I don't want to, I hope Brian France is able to get himself better, but I also don't want to, I don't want to drag him through the mud, but I do think that there were, his vision of what NASCAR needed to be, I don't think agreed with the fans, and I don't think it agreed with all of the teams either. I think this sport is at a point where it has a chance to reinvent itself.
Yes.
And I think you're going to have to go backward a little bit in order to create a better forward. And I think that's what I get out of Steve Phelps' State of the Sport, is they're sincerely looking for directions, and they're open to any and all discussion, except for going back to North Wilkesboro. Here again, please stop. The facility's too far gone. but there are plenty of other short tracks that NASCAR can send its series to. You can have another dirt race or something. You can have more road courses. We got plenty of them. So, I feel like what you're going to start seeing is you'll see a few little tweaks in 20, but you can't do too much with it yet because you still got your track contracts in place. But when it comes to 2021, and aren't we due to get a new chassis again?
Ooh, let's go to Mexico.
Yeah, we're
eventually.
Yeah, we're going to have a new chassis. Mexico?
Go back to Mexico.
You think?
Yeah.
I know they had a lot of safety concerns about Mexico.
Or go to Canada. Trucks go to Canada. Have Xfinity go to Canada.
See, Edward Adams was in our chat earlier. Edward's a road course guy, and Edward actually would like to see the Cup cars go to Toronto and race. Ooh. He thinks the Cup Series would put on a great show in Toronto.
Would be fun.
And I would like to see that. I actually would like to see a Cup show in Canada. I think it's a shame that the Top Series doesn't go. But you just got to be careful because I think the other thing that they're open to is actually less races. So if you're going to start adding new events, you're going to have to really start taking away some of the ones we have now in order to have the total be less than 36.
Or you have the trucks go to Darlington on Labor Day Monday. You let the trucks go in once the Xfinity's cleared out on Saturday, and you have a Labor Day Monday race for the Truck Series at Darlington Speedway.
Well, I mean, that could be possible, too.
You let them have their throwback.
Could be very, very possible. It would be very interesting to see what that would look like. I'm not totally opposed to that. I think we're due for a break here, are we not?
Something like that.
Let's step aside. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. But first, we're going to hear from Alex Bowman. Right around the turn, you're listening to the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport, My Computer Career. We'll be right back.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, Don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Harrison Rhodes, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Welcome back to the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. Tom Baker, Ellie Belay, Jacob Seelman. Over in the tech shed is Randy Miller, and we are talking racing here for about another 30 minutes or so. And we were kind of discussing next year in NASCAR and the future and all of that. We're going to get back to that discussion momentarily, but I want to take us in a different direction as we start this segment here because, again, we go back to the audio, and Jacob, you had a chance to catch up over the weekend with Alex Bowman.
Not this weekend.
When was
Thanksgiving weekend?
Oh, Thanksgiving weekend. Okay, so this is a leftover.
Yes, this was from the Turkey Night Grand Prix.
Ah, okay. So we have a leftover from Thanksgiving week. Of course, we were pre-recorded all of that that week, and this is our first live in-studio show back. So you talked with Alex Bowman.
Indeed.
And Alex had a little something to say about what's going on for him with the Chili Bowl.
He just had a bit of an announcement that he's running 2 cars at the 2019 Chili Bowl next month, and it's been a couple years in the making, but CJ Leary going to run the Valvoline car once again, and
As
Alex
always.
going to return to the Chili Bowl for his first time since I think 2016, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
This is big. Alex grew up running midgets, and this is where his heart is. This is his kind of like his golf game, his relaxation away from the rigors of the Cup Series. He's been a team owner for CJ Leary a good bit the last year or two and really enjoyed that, but he told me he's wanted to get back to doing this for a while. Now feels like the right time to do it, and he's really excited about it. How excited is he, Randy? Let's let the people hear how excited Alex Bowman is, shall we?
Alex Bowman is looking at CJ Leary's midget, and we joked about this back in January. You were eyeballing that car and wanting to drive it yourself. Through a lot of begging and I'm sure a lot of work between you and Hendrick Motorsports and all the other parties involved, you don't have to eyeball it and not drive it anymore. You actually get to bring 2 cars indoors to Tulsa, and you're running the Chili Bowl alongside CJ in January, and I imagine you're really excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I don't suck too bad, but I'm excited to get back in one. It's been a couple years and really enjoy these cars. So I enjoy working on them too, but driving them is a blast.
When was the last time you ran Chili Bowl, and what do you remember from it?
2016, I guess we were in Chili Bowl, and we were quick. I was just really rusty. I mean, it had been since like 2012 that I'd been in a midget, so just super rusty, and I don't know, probably be more of that, but hopefully we run okay.
You've been on the Cup side now for a full season and a full playoff run at that, but what is it that draws you in? I know it's your roots, but what is it that makes coming back to these cars so special?
It's just stress-free and a lot of fun, and these cars, there's a lot of room for innovation. There's not a lot of rules. The rule book is a couple pages long, not a couple hundred pages long, so it's just fun, especially Chili Bowl, where there's literally no rule book, and you can kind of do whatever you want, and it gives me something to do and keeps me out of trouble throughout the year.
Do you set any goals for yourself, or is it just get the car to the finish and see where you stack up sort of a deal?
For me driving, I'd like to make the A on my night and be, I don't know, in a C or a D, wherever it shakes out on, at worst case, on Saturday. And we've been in the B the last 2 years with this car, and had speed for the A, just haven't been able to put one of our prelim features together. So if we can get CJ in the A and hopefully run up front, I mean, I think we have as good of a shot at it as anybody.
I was thinking about what you were saying about this being like his golf game, and I surely hope he doesn't bogey at the Chili Bowl, because when you bogey at the Chili Bowl, you become part of the flip count. So, there are no sand traps there, so we don't have to worry about a wedge shot, but flop shot, as Tiger Woods likes to call them. But definitely hope he does not bogey. Alex, I don't know how he pulled this off with Rick Hendrick. I want to know what kind of he must have some sort of he must have a little bit of Junior's sort of status with Mr. Rick at this point in order to get that, because Rick's usually not a big fan of his drivers competing, especially at dirt track events.
Yes.
While they're under contract for obvious reasons, but maybe because it is the Chili Bowl, and although it certainly isn't without its dangers, it is a very small track event, and in all honesty, I mean, I don't know if any of the Cup sponsors are going to be any kind of a part of this effort, but certainly there could be some really good cross promotion there.
Oh, there very well could be, and I will not at all be surprised if either Exalta or Nationwide end up on Alex Bowman's midget for the 2019 Chili Bowl. And I'm also excited that, courtesy of Brian Holbert's countdown, we are now 41 days from the start of the 2019 Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals. And I'm ready to be back on Tulsa time. I'm just saying, I have waited 359 days, I guess it would be, from the end of the last Chili Bowl for the start of this one.
You're shaking your head, Ellie. What's going on over there?
He's got a countdown for Chili Bowl, and I have a countdown for Daytona.
Well, see, and here's the deal. I have a countdown for both. I'm not going to the Chili Bowl. I'm hoping to be at Daytona. I plan to be at Daytona. But I have a countdown for both because, as a fan, the Chili Bowl is like the unofficial start of the racing season. I mean, we get through the holidays and, we've barely, made our New Year's resolutions, and they haven't had any time yet to break them. And then, here we go with the Chili Bowl. And this, because that event is just a magic event. I mean, you get, 300 plus, 400 plus,
yes,
whatever it is,
300
plus. And they've added an extra day.
Correct.
So
5 days of qualifying.
Yeah, now it's 5. So, it's just an unbelievable week, honestly. I mean, if you can't get excited watching, the Chili Bowl, then you have no pulse. I mean, I don't care what kind of racing you prefer. The Chili Bowl is a whole other deal, and, lots of excitement there. I'm really stoked that Tim McCready is racing it in a car that is going to be painted up as a throwback, if you will, or a tribute car to his father, Barefoot Bob. And if you don't know who Barefoot Bob McCready is, just Google him, okay? They're from the North Country where I'm from, and tell you what, Barefoot Bob is as much a legend in this sport as anybody else. He's kind of the Buzzy Rudeman of the Northern Modified set, and Tim, of course, has been running late models for most of the last good number of years on the dirt and has done very well, but has done well at the Chili Bowl. I think he won it one year, did he not? Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah, 2007. See, I do know stats once in a while. That was the year I think I jumped out of my shorts when he ended up winning that race. I mean, that just so unexpected, but certainly it's going to be a great show, and I'm glad that Alex Bowman's going to get to race it. That's kind of his thing, as you said. That's where he grew up, and everybody wants to run the Chili Bowl. If you're an open cockpit racer, that's where you want to be, is the Chili Bowl in January. So good for Alex Bowman. An opportunity for us here while we have a minute left.
Uh-huh.
Do you see Alex Bowman improving his performance in the Cup Series in 2019, Jacob?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on where you think Alex will fall next year?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think it's too soon to make that kind of a prediction, but I think he improves, yes.
Okay. Well, it's time for a break, so we've run out of time, but we'll pick up our Alex discussion later. Plenty more opportunity to talk about Chili Bowl as that gets closer as well. We're going to step aside. When we come back, it's time for the lightning round, and who knows what that brings here on the Stock Car Show presented by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career. We shall return, we promise.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
Here at Lewis Meineke, we're more than just your average car care center. Hey, it's Dave, your neighbor from Lewis Meineke. Whether you need an oil change, brakes, tires, or anything under the hood, we've got you covered. Take advantage of our free check engine light service as well. Yes, free. And don't forget about our free shuttle service. Never stress, we'll take care of the rest. On with life. Give us a call at Lewis Meineke, 302-827-2054.
Is your job sucking the life out of you? Wake up! You can do something else. Information technology. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math and science person. No problem, and no excuses, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Matt Tiff, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance
I'm Harrison Rhodes,
Motorsports
and you're
Network.
listening to Race.
Well, we have Metallica and trombones there. That's you gotta love live radio sometimes.
Instead of dueling banjos, we had dueling re-entries.
Yeah, dueling re-entries and heavy metal versus trombones. I don't know. It's Metallica did play with the symphony orchestra one time, and I think that's the greatest album they've ever made. Welcome back to the Stock Car Show, presented by HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety. You can find them on the web, and you should. If you're a driver or a track or a series, they've got radios. They've got all kinds of driver safety gear, seats, belts. Go check them out. HMS Motorsport, no S on the end, hmsmotorsport.com. And we're looking forward to being there next week doing a show on location from HMS Motorsport, and we'll be there the week after, both on Monday as well. So the 10th and the 17th of December on location at HMS Motorsport in Mooresville. Come on out and say hello. And we, of course, will have safety seminars each day that you will be able to see live on the show. So,
hello.
I get to strap you down in a 5-point harness?
No. Tom said say hello, so I said hello.
Hello.
And then Allie got way too excited. No.
Moving on. Okay, so we go into the lightning round here, and this generally is where we go around the table in a series of rapid fire questions, and who knows where the answers go. I'm going to start with this question. You can only go to one of the following races for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow.
Only one of the following 4 races.
Only 4?
For the rest of your life.